This is the story of a time I met a celebrity, someone famous. This was before the earthquake. This was before I took my brother to Kending. This was right after my wife and I had gotten married. Now, at the time, this was obviously a long time ago, but at the time I had come to Taiwan and we had met in Tainan and we worked together. Then in the office at the time, everybody knew that we were together, of course. And when I announced that we were going to get married, one of the popular stars in Taiwan at the time was Zhou Huajian. And he had a song during the year that we were going to get married called 明天我要嫁给你啦 明天我要嫁给你啦 that song, okay? So at work, of course, everybody teases like, oh, 明天嫁给他 Okay, so yes, we had that. But actually, though, I really do like Zhou Huajian. He was one of the first singers that I really could listen to in Taiwan. So he was sort of my first introduction to Taiwanese pop music at that time. So we get married and we start working together in a small school. And I remember just as I started teaching one of my very first classes there was a student who said, hey, teacher, I know you like Zhou Huajian, right? I was like, yeah, I do, actually. She said, my brother works for a company that does music, and he has tickets to Zhou Huajian's concert. So do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I would love to go. So it was great. She gave my wife and I 2 tickets I believe it was in Jianghua, to go see Zhou Huajian in concert. So I'm excited. This is kind of my first concert inside Taiwan. So we go and we're getting ready to go to the concert. And I remember it very well because we get in line and I'm starting to look in the line. And Taiwan concerts at that time, at least, and American concerts, they're very, very different. American concerts, people will get together and they'll start drinking and make fire and end up fighting. And none of that was happening in the Taiwan concert. Everyone was dressed very nicely. It was like dates, people holding hands, and everybody looked very nice. And so I think, wow, this is going to be different. Then we go into the place where they have the concert hall, and they give us 2 things. They give us a whistle, and they give us a little light, what we call glow stick. You take the light and you go, and it makes light and go, wee. Of course, in America, we have fire and flames, but there they had the little glow stick and a whistle. So we get into the concert, and we look at the tickets, and our seats are really, really good. We are very, very close to the main stage there. And so we sit down in our seats, and Zhou Huajian comes out, and he's starting to sing. Of course, everybody has a whistle, and they're like, and so I can barely hear anything or any of the songs that are coming on. But I'm trying to pay attention, and I'm listening. And Zhou Huajian, he would come out also very different than American concerts. He'll come out wearing some outfit and sing a few songs and talk to everybody. And then he'll go away for a little while, and he'll come out wearing different clothes and talk and then sing a couple songs and joke to the audience. And so I'm watching and trying to follow along. And I'm looking around, and I look at the audience there, and I realize I'm like the only foreigner that I could see. I'm the only white guy, basically, in the audience. So I'm thinking, wow, I am having a true Taiwan moment right now. I'm really a Taiwanese. Good for me. So I'm like then I go back to watching the concert, and I look over at some point during all of this noise, and there's a woman talking to my wife sitting next to me. And the woman is talking, and I remember my wife going like, no, looking up at the wife, and I think, something's wrong. What's going on? And then I think, oh, maybe we aren't supposed to be in these seats because they were such good seats. And I look at my wife and say, hey, because whistles, hey, what does she want? And my wife looks at her and looks at me and she says, she wants to know if we want to go on stage with Zhou Huajian. You don't want to go, do you? And I'm looking at her and I'm like, yes, I want to go. Of course I want to go. And she just sort of shakes her head and looks at me and like, okay. So we get to go on stage with Zhou Huajian. Now, what they do is they invite us back behind the stage there, and he is done talking and he's changing his clothes in the back. And so we're kind of standing there, and they give us like some balloon. It's many, many balloons, and they're in the shape of a heart. And we're supposed to carry it out to him and use it to welcome him to come to Taiwan or Zhanghua or something. I don't know. But he's back there. And I can see him, and I'm getting a little bit what we say starstruck. I see someone famous, and I'm like, oh, okay. So he is back there, and he's changing into a new jacket or something like that. And he sees us, and he starts coming over, and I'm getting more and more excited. So I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to talk to us. And so I'm just like thrilled. And now I had only been in Taiwan for a very short time then. And so if you think my Chinese is bad now, it was terrible then. So I'm doing my best to think about what I could say to Zhou Huajian when he comes to me. And I'm thinking, Zhou Huajian, 我喜欢你啊,欢迎来台湾 or something. I'm just trying to put together words so that I don't sound stupid to him. So and I can see him coming, and he walks right up to us, and he comes right at me, and he reaches out and he shakes my hand, and I'm getting ready to talk to him, and he says, hey, how are you doing? It's really nice to meet you, and I hope you have a really good time tonight. He speaks perfect English to me. Now, my brain at the time didn't know what to do. I was so ready to speak Chinese to this man, and he speaks very fluent English to me. He's from Hong Kong, and his wife is American, I found out later. So I take his hand, and I just like, I stop. I don't know what to say. No words will come out of my mouth. And I was like, and he just looks at me. He just like, okay, all right, well, we'll see you on stage. Okay, bye-bye. And he thinks I'm stupid. So I blow my chance to become cool and good friends with Zhou Huajian. So failure. So anyway, he goes out on stage, he talks to them for a while, and then they kind of push me and my wife out there. And so it's fun when you're at a concert and you're looking up on the stage, but when you're on the stage and you're looking out at all of the people with their glow sticks and their whistles, you think, wow, it's pretty cool. So I immediately stopped being sad about Zhou Huajian because now I'm on stage. And I think, wow, I am not only Taiwanese, I am having a superstar moment in Taiwan. I can't wait to tell this story to my friends, where I went to Taiwan and I was on stage with their big pop star and how people were cheering and blowing whistles and all of this. So I'm just loving this on stage. I'm sorry to say that I really actually enjoyed it. But so we go out on stage, and I think this is the best time ever. We go out on stage, we smoothly give the balloon bouquet, the heart shape, to Zhou Huajian. He talks to us on stage. My wife says something into the microphone. I can't remember now what it was, but everything went super well, and we looked great out on there. And then they send us back, and I get to tell my friends. My friends, of course, totally don't believe me. No one thinks that I was on stage, and I have no way to prove it. And they don't know who Zhou Huajian is, so that doesn't help. But a couple of years later, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 years later, I was in the apartment that we had then, and I was cleaning up, and I was watching the music channel V, which was very popular in Taiwan at that time.
I couldn't hear what you
And
said.
so I was watching channel V, and I heard Zhou Huajian, and then I heard my wife. And I run out there and I think, oh my God, they had videotaped that concert. So they were showing it on Channel V. So I immediately start looking for a VCR, like a tape, so that I could record the concert and prove this to my friends. So I'm looking and I grab a tape and I shove it into the machine and I'm watching and I stop. And I take the videotape and I just put it away and I don't record anything. Because on the screen, we looked so stupid. The light is all weird and my face is all red and I'm all sweaty and we just looked like idiots on the stage. So in my mind, we were superstars. In reality, not so much. So I never got to show anybody how famous I was for 1 minute in Taiwan. Okay? All right, that is the time that I met someone famous in Taiwan. Thank you.